Oh man, they're just everywhere. This is such a mess. Yes, you've seen right. That means I'm one of those crazy food preservers. I just love to can the food that I grow, which means I have hundreds of those rings and lids, and I just need to find a better way to store them. Just throwing them in the pantry, it's not a solution. I'm about to clean up my pantry, and then I will head into my workshop to come up with better plans on how to store those. So, lass uns anfangen.
There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
So let's get right to it and start with the project. Of course, I had to go through my scrapwood pile to find the best pieces to build it with. I found this cut-off piece that was left over from our workshop build in Florida. And then I found this piece of round rod that I had salvaged from my closet renovations that I did about 9 years ago. As you can tell, I'm serious about my scrapwood pile. You could also say I'm somewhat of a hoarder because it all has potential, right? And the last piece was a leftover piece from a drawer that I built a while back. First, I had to figure out the dimensions of the project. Therefore, I laid out all the pieces where they will go to find the width. And then I marked all the cuts. I still had my table saw set up for my table saw sled, so I had to attach my riving knife, how's it pronounced? Anyways, it's for kickback. I would recommend to unplug your machine from the electricity before you do this, because nobody wants to lose their cute little digits, right? I'm pretty attached to my fingers, literally. Make sure you lock the cover plate back into place. And lastly, I attach my anti-kickback pawls. This is the serrated piece of metal on top. So, no kickback happening in my workshop. I guess I was so preoccupied with making sure to attach all the safety mechanisms on my table saw that I forgot something else. I'm sure you already noticed and started typing in the comments on how dare I forgot. Yep, I forgot to tie my hair back. Oops, let's fix that. Ta-da! As for the pole, I measured it and then I decided to cut it into 4 equal-sized pieces. A little bit of math, 72 divided by 4, yeah, it's somewhere around 18. Okay, good. I'm wearing my tool pouch for a reason, so I don't lose my pencil constantly. And guess what I lost just again? Really, there's like nothing else I can do. Found it. I made a mark just below 18 inches to account for the width of the blade when I make the cuts. Then I set the stop block so all the following pieces are the same length. And now I'll make sure to make it a point to return the pencil to where it belongs. Now I've heard it all, and some people say you can cut round pieces of lumber on a miter saw. I call that BS. Just make sure you press the round rod securely against the back. You can also use the metal clamp that comes with most miter saws. That will help you secure the piece as well, in case you just don't have enough trust in yourself. Once I had cut the 4 pieces of rod, I used the same stop block to cut 4 pieces that will hold the lids. And while you watch me cut those pieces, I got a joke for you. Why did the board break up with the plank? It felt too naughty. It wasn't funny? How about this one? Why was the woodworker always calm? He knew how to solve his problems. Alright, I get it. I might not be that funny, but I can build stuff. So let's get back to the build. Here I'm marking out the height of the back panel and then I cut it to size, before heading up to my craft studio to start with the staining process. For the stain I'm using early American, and then I will knock down the brownish color with a whitewash to make it look more rustic. The progress of staining always makes me very nervous. It always looks way too dark and I don't like it initially, but in the end it all comes together perfectly. Of course, I have to make the project more special and add my touch to it with the help of my laser engraver. Let's put on those huge futuristic laser engraver glasses that look just horrible on me. Just to have a look to see how the progress is going. And I wish you could see it too, but yeah, unfortunately I didn't clean the glass and you can't see anything. But what you can see in the meantime is my other crazy obsession, plants. I brought those cuttings from Florida and I'm determined to grow a jungle. And honestly, I would say I'm already halfway there. Once the dark stain has dried enough, I applied the whitewash. That's always so nerve-wracking because applying whitewash wrong can look so bad. To not let whitewash dry, rather wipe it off too early than too late. And what do you think? I like it like that. Let's compare to see the before and after. I really love the muted tone of the brown. It has a very modern look to it. Once I had the whitewash applied to all of the pieces, the laser was long done, and it was time to check out the design. What do you think? I think this design is completely off center. I don't know what I was thinking, I don't know what I did there, but I can make it work. I did intentionally move the design slightly off center because I have regular and white lids, but I really didn't mean to move it that far. My mistake, I must have not measured right. Here I'm placing everything in the right spot before I start assembling. To cover the ugly sides of plywood, I used the cherry lumber pieces that were, of course you guessed it, scrapwood pieces that were left over from my last cutting board build. So really this whole thing is built out of scrapwood, just how I like it. Before assembly, I will glue those pieces on with some wood glue. I also decided to add a little bit more detail to the build by engraving the white and regular mouth-sized text. For the assembly, I made sure to pre-drill all the holes because plywood is not very forgiving for large screws. I've had these outdoor screws handy, so I'm using those. The left is for the large mouth lids and the right is for the regular mouth lids. The 4 poles that will hold the bands I attached in the middle. Initially I wanted to place the pole center, but then I decided different. Once I placed the band onto the rod, I noticed it could slightly move forward because it has room to do so, and I don't like the look of the band hanging off the shelf. So I decided to move the rods backwards a bit off center, so the band sits flush with the shelf. I think that's a much cleaner look. And we are fertig! Wow, what a project! I'm totally in love with this. What do you think? Would you build one of those as well? Once I assembled everything, of course I had to try it out. I got so many of those bands, just so many. I don't even need all of them. But it's nice to know that I have a nice way to store them now. If you'd like to see more videos and pictures, please join me on my Patreon. This helps me create more YouTube videos. You can find the link in the description below and my socials. Also, I have other social media if you'd like to follow me on those. I'm about to find a place in my pantry to hang this up onto the wall, and then I'm sure we'll come up with 10 other ideas of more storage solutions because I'm always running out of space. What do you have laying around that you need a storage solution for, and what's keeping you from building something? Let me know in the comments below. And I got one more joke for the road. I asked my hammer for advice. It said, just keep pounding away. Yeah, don't worry, I won't quit my day job over this. I'm not a comedian. See you soon. Tschüss und auf Wiedersehen.